Welcome back. And in today's video, join me as I go for a quick 25-minute walk as I head to an appointment in the city of Melbourne. But it's not just about capturing photographs, capturing moments on this walk. It's about leveraging your daily schedule to enhance your visual awareness, to increase your creativity, to notice photographs. And not only notice them, but capture them as well. And what I'll do is I'll go through the photographs that I did capture, as well as on some of them, I'll show you an edited version of what I then did with the photographs as well. So let's kick off. I'll put up the results and let's go through them one by one. So before we start to go through the individual shots, just to explain that all the photographs are taken with mobile phone, which is the iPhone 13 Pro. Obviously, subsequent models have come out since then. I love using the mobile phone. I think it's absolutely fantastic. Another thing to keep in mind as well, a lot of photographers say, well, I prefer to capture the great images on my DSLR, on my mirrorless, because of pixels or for whatever reason. Never forget that when you take these photographs on your photo walks with your iPhone or any mobile phone, you can always come back, bring your other gear. If you've discovered a spot or a particular, you've actually got a photograph and go, gosh, I'd love to go and get that again. Now, obviously, there are situations where it's hard to replicate, but certainly like with this picture that we're looking at here, which is purely architectural, well, then fine, you can go back the same time of day with your different camera gear, bang, capture that if you want. But I love capturing, I'm somebody who shoots on a DSLR, a few different lenses, and I love the perspectives of those lenses and everything. But I love shooting with my iPhone. It's absolutely fantastic. It's with me all the time. The convenience is just sensational, and it has amazing flexibility within its limitations. It is fantastic. The iPhone 13, I've got a couple of different set lenses. You've got the wide, the medium, and the telephoto. So now let's get stuck into the images and start to go through them. In this photograph, if anyone knows Melbourne, there's the top of Melbourne, Spring Street. I'm walking down from there, down Collins Street, and essentially looking through a laneway. And one of the things about it's midsummer in Australia, middle of January, that's midsummer for Australia. And one of the things, every season offers different opportunity with its natural light. And in the summer, very bright day, no overcast, blue sky on this particular occasion. And as such, there's so much light bouncing around off the other buildings that it's filling in light, it's reflecting light. It's literally like having a reflector throwing light back in where it wouldn't normally be. If I came by, certainly if I came by in the winter, this amount of light would not be here. So this is a case in point where doing a photo walk and visiting same places, every season is going to offer different opportunity. So I've shot this. I love it with the, I've gone the telephoto perspective, and using the summer lights worked really well. And from an editing point of view, I did one version. Let me see. So this is the editing version. And when I've edited these, I've used the Windows Photo app. And if you're interested in that, there's videos I've made about editing in the Windows Photo app. So check those videos out. What I've done with this particular editing is essentially it's just lifting the contrast. And notice the difference, by the way. I'll bring the cursor over to point it out. Notice here mainly, and also here. I'll just go back to the original. That's the original. A little bit flat there. Increase the contrast. Bang. So that's the version. I like the shot a lot. I pass this, how many times I live in Melbourne, so the number of times I've passed this is endless. I've taken a couple of pictures over time before, but not in this light. And it's this light that makes it. And bang. taking advantage of the season as well. With this shot, I've walked through from Collins Street, walking towards Little Collins, and part of it is this, again, laneway. And you've got the foliage from garden environment and then the mix with the car park, obviously. And I love the juxtaposition, really do. There's something about it. It's sort of the mixture of the natural and the very man-made environment. I like it a lot. I like the juxtaposition. And again, it's working. One of the reasons why it's working, it's something again that I've passed a lot, but the summer light, because it was bouncing around, was filling in, giving light onto this wall and onto the foliage way more than it normally would. So taking advantage of the season, whatever it presents, because it also works the other way. In winter, the light then presents another opportunity. But in the summer environment, because of all the light bouncing off, this photograph works in my mind. I like it. I like it a lot. The way I'd put this is never be afraid of a cliche. I mean, obviously, there's a great deal of window photographs. I love them. I think they can work really well. Seen thousands of them. I've taken a lot of them over the years. I used to rebel against cliches and everything. But I love them. I just enjoy it. This shot is not necessarily anything spectacular, but to me, it's a nice shot. I like it as it's a mixture of a record of a location that I know, as well as I enjoy it as a photograph. I enjoy the textures, the architecture, the trees, the leaves, the shadows. On your photo walks, it can be about all sorts of things. It can be a record for yourself. It can be simply about the light. It can be about the subject, as in it's something that you've enjoyed for whatever reason. And this is the case here for me. I enjoy these buildings in Collins Street with the leaves and everything and the textures. Not every photograph we take has to be some sort of massive blockbuster. But here's the interesting thing as well. If you go about taking photographs that you want to take or whatever catches your eye on these photo walks, it's amazing how at the end of it, you can end up, how frequently you end up with a particular photograph or something and you go, gosh, I really like that. That's a really nice shot. I'm proud of that shot. And it's amazing, by taking a series of shots, it can sometimes just build into better and better photographs. And catching the flag in flight and showing the texture and the movement of the flag, I really enjoy. Now, this I have quite heavily edited. I'll show you the original shot here. Now, look at that. So you can see how far I've edited in. Now, here's another point. Because I'm just taking these photographs for myself, I can share them in different ways on social media or whatever that I want to do with them. But I'm not shooting these, like, for instance, I do shoot stock photography, but I wouldn't be able to crop in like I have on this particular shot for my stock photography, because technically the quality of the photograph wouldn't be good enough. The pixels, etc., would not be up to the quality or the number that I needed for it to be submitted as a stock photograph, as an example. And there's other things, like you wouldn't be able to do a large print from it, etc. So there are limitations. But because I'm free-flowing editing, and then I'm just using these for myself and not needing to do any large printing, not needing to submit them for any commercial use, any stock use of any type, well, then I'm free to edit any way I want. And as long as I'm working off on a laptop, and here I can enjoy these images. So if I was to share this image, most people would be looking at it either on a mobile phone, a laptop, or a desktop. And it works perfectly fine. No stress. So as a result, I've been able to just free flow edit, and I like it. That's the shot I've come up with. I like it a lot. A lot of fun. Okay, now this photograph, I was about to say this is the Melbourne Town Hall, but it's not the main entrance. Oh dear. So the corner of where are we? We're at the corner of Collins and Swanston Street, and or coming down towards that. Certainly not right on the corner by any means, but towards that intersection. And I love the stonework, the brickwork, the wrought iron, the lights. I pass it. I've passed this many, 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 many times, and I have taken a couple of pictures before. But one of the things that's different about this is the amount. Again, this summer light bouncing off other things, and pushing that light, reflecting that light onto this wall, giving it that extra zest of light, which would only happen in the summer like this. Doesn't mean it doesn't get light on it on other seasons, but it's a different type of light. This is a bouncing off reflective light rather than a direct, harsher light, if you like. So I did do a little bit of cropping on this. So that's the original shot, and I like it. And then what I did is that I just increased it a little bit to give it that extra zest as well. But you can see, just to point out again, see how the light, it's in a very shaded area, but up here, see how we're getting a bit of zest because the light being reflected is so bright compared to normal. And then I've just added a bit of contrast to it. Bang. I like it. I like the signs. I like the wrought iron. It's a bit of history, you know. I like it. Now, talking of the town hall, this is a shot where, again, it's it's the lamp, it's the stonework, it's the wrought iron. I like it a lot. Now, when I took this picture, I knew full well that I would be cropping it later. And one of the things you can do is exactly that. You don't have to be obsessed about getting in exactly where you want to be. Now, again, this is on the basis that you're not faced with any technical hurdles of it has to be X number of pixels and or a particular ratio, or what I mean by that is a particular shape, anything like that. I'm free flowing purely for the enjoyment of my photography. Yes, I can share them with other people. Absolutely recommend you do. Absolutely fantastic. But they don't have to meet a specific specification. So I shot this, but this is what I had in mind when I took the photograph, which was a tighter edit. And that's what I had in mind. Now, the video is slightly left, I've slightly cut off on the left, so I apologize for that. But you get the idea strongly. It's just a little bit cropped off from the left that I would normally have in it. But that's what I had in mind, the focusing in on the detail of the lamp and the brickwork and stonework and a bit of the wrought iron. That's what I had in mind. But I didn't need to have that framing when I took the shot because I knew I could come in and crop it. And while I'm cropping these on Windows Photo app, you can equally do all sorts of amazing things right on your phone. I just prefer the larger screen for convenience, etc. I just, I wear glasses, and the whole thing's just a lot easier for me by doing it on the laptop. But hey, I've certainly edited many, many photos in the iPhone, and it's fantastic, absolutely awesome. No reason why not. It's about enjoying your photography. And here I am in the city of which I live, and it's fun to document things that you walk past all the time. And it stimulates. It's also another. In some ways, it's an extra challenge in your own environment, rather than going somewhere new that's all fresh and stimulating. You're capturing your own environment, but it challenges your photographic eye, if you like. When I took the photograph, I knew I'd be editing it, and I knew I'd be shifting it around a bit. So this is what I did. I altered the angle, increased the contrast, zoomed in a bit, if you like, cropped in a bit. So again, you see, we don't have to be, when you're free flowing with all this, as I've said before, but I'll keep saying it because it's just such a big aspect to all this, is that, you've got flexibility. There's the original, there's the edited. So I've come in a bit closer, altered the angle, mixed it up a bit, and the juxtaposition between the nature and the city buildings and the older building and the older lights kick in. I like it. I like it. It can be a lot of fun. It's about enjoying yourself. It's about noticing. It's about stimulating your vision. It's about actually capturing photographs, which is always a great thing to do. It gives you a great sense of satisfaction when you get a shot that you're proud of. But the definition of being proud of a photograph can come in many ways. You can go, good gosh, look at this photograph. I mean, wow, this is just friggin' awesome. Or it can be something like this, where it's like, I like this. It's a great documentation of a part of a city that I know. And it's a nice photograph as well. But you'll get the combination, whether you're doing these photo walks in a city or in a place or in a place you're just visiting quite briefly. Either way, it presents its own stimulus, if you like. And either way, it's the most wonderful photographic thing. If you have an interest in photography, doing stuff like this can be incredibly rewarding. It's a fantastic challenge, very stimulating, and it can lead to more and more photographs as well. And you will get some stunning photographs. You will get some stunning photographs. If you do this exercise on more than one occasion, you'll get some great photos because your eye will start to get into it, look more detail. You go, oh yeah, wow. Here we are in the Melbourne Town Hall, gone for the straightforward shot there, but I also knew that I was going to be editing it, and then to edit it, I've put it on an angle. So we've got a bit of a whole triangle thing going on, and we've got the sweeping shapes of the wrought iron there. Mixed it up a bit. And again, it's this mixture of the record and just nice photograph. There's the original. And when I took the shot, the main thing was that I just had to get the main detail of what I wanted to work with. So in this case, the editing, there we are. To me, it just jazzes it up a bit. I like it. And it's so easy. I walk past these things all the time. But to actually get a photograph and be able to enjoy and look at a piece of history it's great. I find it personally very rewarding, and it's a nice shot to have. Now with this photograph, it's all about the graphics really, and textures. And this is the original shot, and I like all the textures and the triangular shapes going on. And then I did edit it. I'll show you the edited version. It's gone from 55 to 5, but we're on Collins Street and Collins Place, and it's all about the shapes, the graphics. It's fun, and it's amazing what can catch your eye. But again, don't be afraid to crop them. You certainly don't have to by any means, but I just enjoyed doing the bit of the shift around. So to me, that's the image. To me, this is just a bit too distracting, but it also can be part of the photograph if you like it that way. But to my eye, I want to simplify. I find that simplify generates more striking images, certainly for my style. There's no right or wrong. Do what you really enjoy yourself. But for me, the simplification of the image enhances it. Certainly it becomes like a graphic statement, if you like. So all this, as I say, off to this appointment, I allowed an extra. The walk would normally be about 15 minutes, and I gave myself an extra 15 minutes. So these are all shot in like 15 minutes as I'm walking down. It gives me time to stop, to frame, and it's a great exercise. I'm all the time. I'm saying if you don't have time to take a photograph, or if you don't have a camera with you at all, I'm all the time encouraging people to to see the photograph in their eye, even though you're not capturing it. But the actual process of, in this case, picking up your mobile phone camera and actually recording it, taking a photograph, is another step, because it gets the eye in even further with composition. So all these photographs would be taken. Basically, it's a total of half-hour walk, of which I've allowed myself 15 minutes to stop and take photos. So we're not talking a huge commitment here. This is one of those classics where I'm taking the photo, but I knew I was going to be cropping heavily. And because, again, I'm unrestricted, this is my own personal photography, if you like. So here, that's the version. That's what I had in mind. Saw the bike, saw all the roofing going on, the design of the roof, and the people, texture. And that's what I had in mind when I took the shot. But clearly, because of format and everything else, I can't do that. But I also know, because I'm unrestricted, I don't have to submit this for stock. I don't have to submit it for any large printing or anything like that. The fact that it reduces the pixels and reduces the technical quality of it by such heavy cropping. But because I'm only be using it where people would be seeing it either on an iPhone, a laptop, or a desktop, it's fine. There's no need to stress out about these things. There you go. I think it's a lot of fun. I enjoy it. And by the way, another footnote to all this is that I then get to my appointment and I've got a smile on my face. It's fun. This is fun. Photography can be fun. It can have a very serious side as well. But this sort of thing is fun. And I really encourage you to do this, where you set yourself up, where you give yourself just a bit of extra time. We're not talking great chunks of time here. We can see that even 15 minutes makes a difference. Incredible. Talking of light for different seasons, any other season, this is the middle of summer in Melbourne. We're looking down little Collins Street, and any other season, you are not going to get this light bouncing in. See this area here? I'll put the cursor over into this area. All this light, in any other season, you don't have any of that light bouncing in. And this shot to me is all about the colour, the vibrant colours. It's a real colour shot. It's driven by its bold colour. And the editing I've done is this, which is simply, again, lift that colour, bit of contrast increase again, and greater vibrancy. So this is a photograph very much driven by the summer light, by the light of the occasion. And again, keep in mind, you see, all these photographs we're looking at, I'd allowed an extra 15 minutes, a 15-minute walk. I added 15 minutes on, allowed, so I had half an hour. I had 15 minutes of which to take some photos. And here we are in little Collins Street in Melbourne. The point I'm making is you don't need to be walking miles and miles and miles. It's amazing how many photographs you can find, certainly in a city environment, and indeed in many, many other environments. You can find so many photographs in a short distance. And it's a wonderful exercise. It's just a brilliant exercise to do. And it's fun, as I keep saying. I know at times, if you're listening to this whole video rather than just one section, you will hear me repeat at various points, but it's worth repeating. There's a few reasons why to watch these sorts of videos in my mind. One is to see another photographer's eye, because of seeing another photographer's photographs and hearing any comments that the photographer makes about them. You can get a sense of where that photographer is coming from and what those images are then produced. that in itself, I think, can be very interesting just to hear someone else's perspective. It's interesting because if you don't know Melbourne, you get a feel of another city, if you like, another location. That also can be interesting. And it's not necessarily, the straightforward travel shots, if you like. You get to see a different element of the city. And of course, the next reason, the third reason, is to pick up your own mobile phone, your own cellular phone, get out there and take some shots. And even if it's picking up your regular camera, fine, great, fantastic. If it inspires you to get out and do one of these photo walks, whether it's built into your schedule or you're doing a specific photo walk, either way, get out there and have fun with it. Really do enjoy it. This is a picture of the door of the town hall in Melbourne, and it's not the main doors, but it's one of the major doors, and cropped in fairly close. Could have gone more balanced, but I like it like this. I think it works just fine. I love the textures, and editing wise, I just did a tweak. You'd barely noticed it. I'll go back to the original. That's the original. And then all I did was give it a slight lift, bang, just a slight increase in contrast there. Not much at all. Barely noticeable. So again, it's so simple. I pass this all the time. It's fun to have these photos. I enjoy taking them. It stimulates the mind. It stimulates the photography eye. And I'm happier because of it. And I think that's a reason enough. So whether you are watching these videos simply to see another photographer's eye, or to see a different location, or whether it's inspiration to pick up your own cell phone, your own mobile phone, and go out and take some shots, either way, I hope that you enjoyed this video. And also, I have a free download available for 5 ways to improve your photography fast. And if you would like to access that, it's a free download, as I say. I'm going to put in the description, I'll put a link for it so you can get that without any hassle. And look forward to seeing you in the next video, and have fun with your photography. Enjoy it. It is such a buzz. And we don't need to spend forever trying to find time and everything. Next appointment you have, give yourself an extra period of time, park a distance away or walk a bit further. Even if you pass the location where your appointment is, just keep walking. Take your phone, lift it up, take some photos, explore your environment, whether it's a new environment or one that you pass every day. It can be a lot of fun. See you in the next video.